right, good morning, Monday morning to everyone who didn't wake up dead. I'd like to take the time to welcome you to another video. We're going to continue the series on Let's Process Our Life and still going through the book of Genesis, but this time we're on chapter 15. And what we have to deal with today is that a lot of us, God has promised us something. And for many of us, we're trying to get God to give us a timeline on when we are to receive his blessing. Trying to give him a timeline and when are we to receive whatever he promised us. So my fault. So in Genesis chapter 16, uh, we begin with another person who was part of the promise, which was Sarah, Abraham's wife, because uh, uh, God promised Abraham that Sarah would have a child. Now, we don't know how long this was between the blessing and when this take place, which means timing is not a factor with God. If he say he gonna do it, he gonna do it. Quit trying to manipulate God into blessing you. Quit making up your own blessing and calling it God. Quit trying to uh, 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 make someone a part of your blessing that shouldn't be part. Now, Genesis chapter 6, it says, now Sarah, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarah said unto Abraham, behold, now the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid. It may be that I may attain children by her. And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarah. And Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband Abram to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. My. So watch this. You know everything we do comes around full circle. So we see Abram had told Sarah to play like his sister instead of his wife so the Pharaoh wouldn't kill him. Notice it said Egyptian. So now we see this handmaiden that Sarah has, which is an Egyptian. Watch this. She's a part of the mistake that's still hanging around. Part of the mistake. And watch this. Just suppose what would have happened to Pharaoh had he not heard God and said, that's this man's wife. So now we see Sarah, the wife, is giving Abraham a wife. I think when I see it on social media, that's like giving your husband a pass to cheat. Yeah, a hall pass. So when you connected to people who are part of the promise that God gave you, don't let them talk you out of doing what's right for what's wrong. See, here's Sarah. I guess she was looking at her age. She's looking at the time because he said it was 10 years. And now she heard about the blessing. You get what I'm saying? She said, but the Lord ain't he ain't let me have no children. I got this little handmaid over there and go over there and give her some of that stuff. But God didn't tell him that he was going to have a baby by Hagar, representing bondage, because she was an Egyptian, which means the bondage that they made a mistake when they went down into Egypt and lied. They still was holding on things as a reminder of the mistake they made. See, sometimes you got to let stuff go. You can't keep hanging stuff around that was meant for you to go because it's going to interfere with your promise. See, here Abram is dealing with a woman that wants the promise so bad that she thought that she wasn't gonna get pregnant. You don't give God no time frame. If he wants you to be married, you're gonna be 60 years old, he'll say you married. If he say you're gonna have a child, you can be 80 years old, you're gonna have a child. Stop trying to manipulate God because you think you're gonna be too old. See, for all you know, all God wants you to do is get you here or get a baby here, and he does the rest. So we can understand that this Egyptian maidservant came during his time in Egypt. So she thought that God had restrained. See, some of us think God forgets about us. So watch this. We kind of talked about this yesterday about people not having children. God dang it. See, the pain of hope deferred make the heart sick. So she looking at how old she is. She looking, it's been 10 years we in Egypt and we've been having sex and I ain't pregnant. The pain of prayers not yet answered. The pain of an arm that can't hold a child. The pain of public shame. Because everybody around there, they got the wonderful marriage. They got children. Everybody going. The pain of blaming God for your problems. See, unbelief is a sin, y'all. That sin can become a sickness, and that sickness carries a lot of pain. Do you know most incurable disease, the reason they're incurable is because you don't know the pain that you still carrying from your generation. Don't just think you got lupus. Don't just think you got sickle cell. Don't just think you got whatever that blood disease is. When something is incurable, so they say, and it's inside your flesh, that's generational. It can always be cured. Ain't no such thing as an incurable disease. The problem that is incurable is that your hate, your anger, your depression, your bitterness, your unforgiveness. So it sits in your bloodline until the time comes that it need to use you to show how evil you are, because they know you're gonna reject everything God said. So Sarah said, "Go into my maid." Abram went there and got a little something. See, don't be a man. See, y'all see the pattern here? That's the same thing that Eve did to Adam. Here, Adam, eat this. Here, Abraham, go in this. Don't be a man that know the right thing to do and do the wrong thing because it's your wife. You better stand 10 toes down. Well, maybe Abram been watching her anyway. Yeah, he wanted that thing anyway. Maybe, I don't know. But don't be, how can you have a godly wife telling you to do worldly wrong? So Abram agreed. And he went, that's a sad case. When you so sad, thinking that you ain't enough for the man that you with the woman you with, see, that's this the first side chick that knows she was a side chick. Cause the wife picked her. But do you know that's what they doing in the world? The husband want to have threesomes and the wife go pick it or the man pick it and everybody in there just doing it. What kind of wife is you to invite another woman? You that remind me I was dealing with this one woman, and let me show you how stupid she is. This woman gonna tell me, yeah, if we go out, you should be able to sit there and let me dance all over another man. I said this be crazy as Hell. That's what I said to myself. I ain't no silk for no woman. Why would I let a woman I'm dealing with sit there and watch a man all over her? I knew then, like I said, this be, sorry for the light. I said this one crazy as a. Who would think like that? Not a woman of God. How can you put yourself in a place that you tell your man he should be able to watch you with another man? These the same kind of women that put them the air tags on their men car. It's okay for them, but it ain't okay for you. These the same kind of women that walk around and smelling your underwear. See if they smell in a woman perfume. Don't mind me, I'm amusing myself. So watch this. So it said they had been in there 10 years and she hadn't become pregnant. So here she was discouraged in her place in the blessing of God because she wasn't able to produce. See, you got to learn how to walk in faith instead of unbelief. See, because y'all don't see it, your unbelief make you say it ain't coming. You got to be mindful of the realm of the spirit. See, y'all think the longer you wait, the more you think you're not gonna get it. That's farthest from the truth. If God said it, it settles it. But because we are impatient, see, when he said let patience have his perfect work, he'll tell you he gonna give you something, but maybe you still a liar. Maybe you can't manage your money. Maybe you don't know how to be a father or mother. Maybe he need to process out something out of you. And because you ain't listening, it taking longer than used to. What we said about the children of Israel, they should have been to that promised land in 11 days. It took 40 years because people that were around them was in unbelief. So he had to let them wander and die off before he took the ones over there that had faith. So he went into Hagar and she conceived. So now they've been there 10 years and he been weighing old Sarah out and she ain't pregnant. He go in there one day and boom, this woman pregnant. Now watch this. So when Sarah seen Hagar was pregnant, she despised her. See, why? How can you despise something that you allowed to happen? That's why a lot of y'all, God is taking his time before he bless you, is because you despising things, people, and opportunities that you allowed to happen. You know what that woman was all about when you got with her. You know what that man was all about. Now you despise them because of what you already knew. You know that job really wasn't paying you nothing. Now you mad because they won't give you a raise. You know they weren't gonna give you no raise. Now you despise working there. See, watch this. Let's look at this prophetically, as we say. 10 years, Sarah and Abraham having sex, no baby. One time in Hagar, she pregnant. You know why she was so despised? Immediately, because she left her self-esteem give her promise away, she became prideful and still thought herself as better than Hagar, even though Hagar conceived before her. See, that's what's wrong with a lot of y'all. You see people doing better than you and you despise them because you want to do what they do. So then comes the jealousy. Then comes the hate. Then comes the social media outburst. Then comes the lies. Then comes the slander. Because you secretly want what they got. And now you jealous because they got what you want. It goes on. Then Sarah said to Abram, my wrong be upon you. I gave my maid into your embrace. And when she saw that she had conceived, I became despised in her eyes. The Lord judged between you and me. So Abram said to Sarah, indeed, your maid is in your hand. Do to her as you please. And when Sarah dealt harshly with her, she fled from her presence. See, Abraham then got off. Yeah, he then got off and got pregnant. And so what he said, yeah, do what you want to do with her now. I didn't use her. See, that's why I said when men fool around, men don't want the women they fool around with. They done got what they want. It's the women that want to be with the men they fool around with, and he don't want you. Or they'll deal with you because they know you're gonna take less than what you deserve because you think you got more than what you deserve. See, what we see, Sarah, see, watch this. Instead of Abraham saying, no, Sarah, we ain't gonna do that. God will provide. He said, no, I'm gonna do what you want me to do. And see, that's what's wrong with a lot of relationships and marriages now. The women would tell the man what to do. The man won't say nothing for the sake of the woman. See, we coming in a time that we just can't do anything for the sake of love or relationship. You know, I was looking at that rapper, Cash Doll. She just had the baby by her boyfriend, the second one. And they just showed the little thing on TikTok. She said, I refuse to accept anything just to keep my family together. That resonated with me. Because as men, we deal with lies, we deal with cheating, we deal with stealing, we deal with lies just to keep something together. But the minute it affects the woman, they throw it all away. It's time for us to throw stuff away. See, she told Abram what to do. So what she did, knowing she was wrong, now you want to tell Abraham, it's your fault. You should have stopped me. Well, it's truth to that. But why would you bring that to your husband? Because you feel insecure, because you feel inadequate. A lot of marriages, they don't fail because of just anything. Most of the time, the woman feels inadequate, unappreciated, unwanted. But watch this. Had Sarah had the spirit of God, she would have knew that wasn't the point. So she wouldn't have did what she did. Stop blaming man for how you feel, you women. I thought you got the spirit of God. After all, the Bible says God is love. So if you looking for a man to love you, that means you ain't got God in you. I'm trying to tell y'all something. A lot of you don't have that relationship that you think you got. So watch this. Sarah became despised at Hagar because now I got a baby by your man. Yeah, that's probably what she thought. The side chick get pregnant by the hood. Most of the time, we tell them to go get an abortion. I mean, I wonder how many times Brother Hubbard had to pay for an abortion. I wonder how many lives I might have took because having sex with women I didn't want, just want to see what it was all about. And unprotected. I could have been out of here. But I guess God said, you know what? You know, I sit back and think, just being a whore out here in the world, doing whorish things. I often think, do God forgive me for taking a life because I ain't want my sin to be exposed? I have to deal with stuff like that because now I got to sit back. Now that I know God and who He is, I got to sit back and wonder what those children could have been because I was less than a man. You got to be careful who you let get between them thighs. And most of the time, in disposition, it's never about love. I'm looking at little Bow Wow baby mama. She got child after child by rich men. She ain't never got to work again in her life. Now we know Bow Wow ain't got as much, but I think Future got one with her, and then this other guy got one with her, and she just getting that money. We got to watch who we allow ourselves to be Casita. Then we're looking at that rap I just said. She just had a baby. And now she said she don't want nothing to do with her. And he on that on live, yeah, she took the cheers. I'm all right. You can't be all right. Because what I told y'all yesterday, I said, I'm in there buying me some shoes, and all I could think about, boy, me and Josiah, we'll be racking up. Because we always talking about our shoe game. I don't have that no more. That old lazy boy of mine, he don't want to come outside the house because he got PTSD. Ain't no telling what they did or had done or what my boy seen in that prison. He say something, he said, Dad, I'm looking at him stabbing the man in the heart and blood going everywhere. I excuse his behavior because I ain't never been around him. I just got to go what God tell me. But watch this. We can't be hostile to people when we allowed the things to happen. So here, Abram, he said, do as you please. So I guess Sarah started treating her like a dog and she left. She treated her like a dog. So now, Sarah made Hagar the villain. This is the best scripture I'm going to read this year. Now the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to shore. And he said, Hagar, Sarah's maid, where have you come from and where are you going? She said, I am fleeing from the presence of my mistress Sarah. The angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress and submit yourself under her hand. See, you do know that when people use you, that God protects you. All she did was what Sarah told her to do. And when Sarah got the result, she got mad at Hagar. She got so mad at Hagar that Hagar had to leave. But it says an angel of the Lord. Y'all got to be careful deceiving people and throwing them away and think God is not going to protect them. Ain't it funny that Hagar was already a handmaid, but notice God's angel's language. He said, submit yourself under her hand. See, sometimes when people think they better than you, what happens is they really respect you. See, the people that not around me anymore and think they better than me, they really respect me because watch what I tell y'all. They attack my character. They attack my flaws. They attack my shortcomings. They attack me with lies, but they don't attack my relationship with God. Even in your downfalling state, being used by the enemy, God still protects some of y'all, but y'all don't want to listen. And see, the only time you want to listen is when it's judgment time and you see judgment beginning. See, we through with that. See, you got to realize when an angel appears and give you instructions, that's like God himself telling you to get with the program. So notice the two questions that he asked. He said, where have you come from and where are you going? God already know where we came from and where he's going. But he's trying to tell us today. Just because you don't see no way out, that means you got to go back to where you came from and submit. It's a lot of people that's so prideful, knowing they want to learn this time, knowing that they need to see me. They still won't come because pride got them so hot. I ain't worried about it. See, that's why, you know why I like being me? Because God already tell me the plan. I already know what people supposed to do. I'm sitting there waiting on you. But just like I tell some of you in the flesh, I tell God in the spirit, I said, God, they ain't coming. And ain't nobody made me a lie yet. Because see, it's something about people who think they more than you, but they regularly trying to learn from you. That's why they keep running to my videos when I get through with them. The views done gone up. I'm waiting on me a YouTube check now. Keep on watching. The wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous. You can look all you want to. That count toward my viewing hour. That count toward their YouTube check. She said, return to your mistress and see, sometimes the very people that you hate is the only ones that can protect you. See, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be bold about it. I guarantee you, everybody that left me, can't nobody treat them like I treat them. Because I don't play the radio with them. I know how serious this is. So when I tell you behind, you often behind. Ain't nobody came and told me I was wrong yet. When I tell you what you need to do and you do it, you succeed. Ain't nobody tell me I'm wrong yet. So how I'm gonna let some Johnny come latelys with these degrees and no relationship and no power tell me how I should minister? You got to bring some proof. When we used to be out in the world and they talking about fighting us, what we used to say, you better bring a hard hat and a lunch because you're going to be here for a while. It's going to take you a whole lot. Because see, before God allows you to pass somebody, you first got to be a good servant before you become a good leader. So even though I don't say names of leaders, whether they treat me good and bad, I learned what I need to learn from the Spirit of God being in a spiritual place, not from people who claim they were spiritual and had no relationship with God. That's the difference. Then the angel told her, he said, you are with child. It said, then the angel of the Lord said to her, I will multiply your descendants exceedingly so that they shall not be counted for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, behold, you are with child, and you shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard your affliction. He shall be a wild man. His hand shall be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. See, when somebody make you do something because of your respect for who they are, then they condemn you because you were submitted, because you, that's what caused the blessing of God. That's why when I ask y'all to do things that the Holy Spirit tells you or God tells you directly, when you don't do it, you delaying your blessing, not God. So when you get mad at God, you forget you're mad at yourself. Because let's look at this. This was a big old beautiful weekend. Now, Let's see what we did this weekend. How many of us spent money that we know we didn't have to spend, that God didn't tell us to spend? We went and did things that we wanted to do, that we didn't ask God, did we do it? But did y'all hear what Brother Hubbard said? I said, God kept telling me to go to the outlet to get me something. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to drive. And at 3 o'clock, I said, let me go on out here and see. And lo and behold, it was the biggest sale that I had ever seen in 54 years of my life. Notice what I just said. God impressed on me to go. When I went out there, the blessing was there. I spent money because God said I could spend the money. Y'all did it, and you didn't even ask God to do half the thing many of you done done. But the minute God said give, the minute God said go there, you want to get mad. You want to get upset. It's because God is not completely a part of your life. I was laying in the bed, matter of fact, I had took me a nap. Not at all. And he know I am, because I don't be caring about stuff. But he kept on saying, go, go, go. I said, what I got to go out here for? Then, you know how this traffic is down here. I said, God dang, I'm in traffic for 6 minutes. I was mad for 6 minutes. But I still went. What's one of the prayers, one of the prayer points I gave y'all? Ask God for direction. Everybody went a direction that they didn't even ask God. And guess what? I guarantee you, half of you didn't even care about what you did. I'm trying to tell y'all, you got to get close to this spirit and be in God's will.